Hello everyone, my name is Iris Franz. Today we will continue with the subject of consumer choice. In particular, we will learn utility maximization. Utility maximization is a process of achieving the highest level of satisfaction by consuming goods and services. The outcome of your consumption bundle depends on your preferences, your budget, and the prices of goods and services. Because we all have different preferences and budgets, when you go to the supermarket, you purchase a very different basket of goods from other shoppers. A few assumptions before we move on. First, we assume rational behavior. That is, the consumer takes meaningful steps to maximize their total utility. Second, the consumer is able to rank their preferences. If there are two consumption bundles, A and B, then a consumer either prefers A to B or B to A, or the consumer is indifferent, meaning the consumer is equally satisfied with A and B. The consumer has a limited income and the prices are known to the consumer. Next, we are going to use an analogy of studying for final exams to explain utility maximization's equal marginal principle. Suppose you're taking two classes, economics and accounting, with the same credit hours. There are no assignments, but only one final exam for each subject. You would like to maximize your GPA. Because each class has same credit hours, your goal is to maximize the total points in these two final exams. As an academic advisor, I would advise you to do two things. First, use all the time available to study. And second, make sure that marginal point per study hour is equal across these two different subjects at the last studying hour. What is marginal point per study hour? That is, you calculate in your own head that for each additional hour you study economics, you will get, say, 5 additional points in economics final exam. Then your marginal point per study hour for economics is 5 points. Suppose you already use all the time available to study. When you have time, you're studying, not gaming or partying. However, your marginal point per studying hour is not equal across these two subjects. In particular, you know accounting inside and out, but you are not that familiar with the material in economics. Since you know accounting inside and out, each additional hour studying accounting will not bring up accounting grade that much. Say 1 additional point when you invest 1 additional hour in studying accounting. But since you're not that familiar with economics, each additional hour for economics will bring up your economics grade by 5 points. Suppose your grade in accounting is 96 points and economics is 90 points. Total points is 96 plus 90 points, which is 186 points. Then I would advise you that since the marginal point per studying hour is not equal, you have not maximized your total points yet. To improve, you will need to shift your last studying hour from accounting to economics, because economics gives you a higher marginal point per studying hour. Suppose you shift your last studying hour from accounting to economics. After the shift, you study accounting for 1 hour less and economics for 1 hour more. That shift will bring down your accounting grade by 1 point, because marginal point per studying hour for accounting is 1 point. Your new accounting grade will be 96 minus 1, which is 95 points. At the same time, the shift of studying hour will bring up your economics grade by 5 points, because your marginal point per hour for economics is 5 points. Your new economics grade will be 90 plus 5, which is 95 points. Your total points will be 95 from accounting plus 95 from economics, which is 190 points. See, shifting studying hour from a lower marginal point per hour subject, which is accounting, to a higher marginal point per studying hour subject, which is economics, Raise your total points. After the shift of hour, you are equally familiar with accounting and economics. In particular, after cutting 1 hour from accounting and adding 1 hour to economics, you are relatively less familiar with accounting and relatively more familiar with economics compared to your past self. As a result, your new marginal point per studying hour is equal for accounting and economics. Suppose your new marginal point per studying hour is equal to 3 points for both accounting and economics. At this point, if you shift another hour from accounting to economics, it is not going to improve your total points. You can try to verify this yourself. Let us compare total point maximization and utility maximization. In our final example, to maximize our total points, we satisfy two criteria. First, we use all the time available to study. And second, we make sure that marginal point per study hour are equal across different subjects at the last study hour. If marginal points per hour are not equal, then we have not maximized our total points. We can improve our total points by shifting the last study hour from a low marginal point per hour subject to a higher marginal point per hour subject. Likewise, when we maximize our total utility, we need to satisfy two criteria. First, we need to spend the entire budget. Say, you would like to maximize the utility from the consumption of fruit, then you spend the entire fruit budget on fruit, not on milk, for example. Second, you need to make sure that the marginal utility per dollar is equal across different goods at the last dollar you spend. If not, you have not maximized your total utility. In particular, you can improve your total utility by shifting the last dollar from a lower marginal utility per dollar good to a higher marginal utility per dollar good. What is marginal utility per dollar? Using plain English, it is additional satisfaction you get by spending one more dollar on this good. The higher marginal utility per dollar, the better the purchase. Suppose you buy apples and bananas. The marginal utility per dollar from apples is higher than that from banana. This means that for each dollar you spend on apples, you get a higher marginal utility than if you spend the same dollar on bananas. This means apples are a better purchase than bananas. You should shift the last dollar from bananas to apples. To summarize, to maximize our utility, we need to satisfy two criteria. First, you make sure that the entire budget is spent. Second, you need to make sure that marginal utility per dollar must be equal across all different goods at the last dollar spent.